I want to tell you about my personal Mount Everest. So we're going back to the year 2020, and for the previous year or two, I've been working on getting into the music licensing game. So this is where independent artists can get their music placed in film and TV and advertising and so on. And I'd reached out to this music library in the UK to see if they were interested in some of my music. They said that even though they weren't really interested in signing in my current music, they liked some of my guitar sounds, my acoustic guitar work. And so they invited me to participate in writing a new album of acoustic guitar songs. This was 10 acoustic guitar songs, and they invited me to do the whole album by myself. Now, to me, this is just a fantastic opportunity, but it was also pretty terrifying because that seemed like a pretty daunting task, especially given the fact that they wanted it done in 2.5 months. See, that was the kicker. To me, that just seemed impossible, considering the fact that I had to work 40 hours a week. You know, I had a life of my own, and to on top of that, do an entire album, that seemed crazy. So I needed to write the songs and record them. Now that was another challenge too, because even though I feel like I'm a pretty good writer of songs, it's the recording aspects, the audio engineer aspects that I wasn't quite prepared for to do that at home. So that was a whole another level of learning. I had to learn about correct microphones and microphone placements to get a nice sound. But I did it. I decided to go all in. So for 2.5 months, I just day and night worked on it. And finally, I got to a point where I was about 2 weeks out from the deadline, realizing that I was running a little short on time. So I talked to my boss and said, I'm working on this opportunity. Can I go ahead and just take 2 weeks off so I can finish this up? And she let me. And so I did that, and I think I met the deadline by about 3 days. So I got it done in time, delivered to them, and they loved it. They thought it was great. They thought it was perfect. And really, I think they were able to accept it with very few revisions or edits. And so to me, that was just a phenomenal period of my life, going all in on a project, not fully knowing what I was doing and having to sort out some obstacles along the way, set up a little makeshift music studio in my basement to get this project done. But once I did get it done, and once it got released on their website, I felt like that was my Mount Everest. I'd never taken on that big of a challenge in life, a monumental task in very little time, but I got it done. I achieved it, and it was phenomenal. So that's what I would recommend. If you want to really have a fantastic memory, a fantastic period of time in your life, give yourself a massive goal, something that people would look at and say, that is not achievable. Go all in, get it done, prove everybody wrong, prove yourself wrong, prove that you're capable of more than you think you are, and you will absolutely light up. And again, when you get older, you start to reflect on the big memories of life, the things that stand out. That's going to be the top of your list. You're going to say, I really killed it there. That's a proud moment. That was a really good use of my time in this world. It's phenomenal. All right. Hopefully that inspires you. Go out there and get it done.